أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد وانتشت روحي وصار الدمع يجري يا إلهي خذ بقلبي للرشاد.
ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. Ladies and gentlemen, today this meeting was held just to give the information about Alay Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It has got two aspects. One is personal dignity of Alay Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The member of the family of the Prophet, they themselves have got an independent dignity, and in addition to that, they have got the dignity of martyrdom. These are two different things. Martyrdom is a separate thing, and the being family member of the Holy Prophet is a different thing. First of all, we shall see the dignity of Alay Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Quran says, "Innama yuridullahu liyudhiba ankum ar-risa ahlal bayt wa yudahhirakum tatheera." It is only Allah who has determined to dignify you and to purify you from all of the filth and all of the sins. And He will purify you as it is the original position of the purity. The family of the Holy Prophet under this verse of the Holy Quran can be checked. Who are the family member of the Holy Prophet who were dignified by means of tatheer, meaning purification? When Nabi Kareem ﷺ was in the house of Hazrat Salama radiyallahu ta'ala, one of the wives of the Holy Prophet, which is termed as mother of the total Muslims. All of the Muslims are duty bound to consider them and confirm them as their own mother. They are our mothers who have been the wives of the Holy Prophet. So turn by turn, it was go for Hazrat Sayyida Salama radiyallahu ta'ala anha. Nabi Kareem ﷺ called for Hazrat Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain and Sayyida Fatima and Ali Murtaza Sher Khuda radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And he spread his sheet, his scarf on all of them, and he wished them to be purified by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma haulai ahlu bayti azhib anhumur rissa wa ta'irhum tatheera. He requested Allah to purify these four persons who were under the shadow of the scarf of Muhammad Mustafa a.s. along with Nabi Kareem a.s. He said, these are only my family member of mine. I shall request you to purify them according to the criterion. Means as if the purity was legislated, or the word of purity was built up, constituted only for the translation of this family. Nabi Kareem a.s. prayed to Allah for the purification of these members. This is called Shani Nazul, when something was there as a situation before the revelation of a verse of the Holy Quran, that is termed, according to the commentatorial jurisprudence of Islam, that is called Shani Nazul, occasion of revelation. The meaning and the context of occasion of revelation cannot be eliminated from the text of the commentary on the Holy Quran, even by the consensus of Muslim scholars. If all of the Muslims of the surface of the total earth, terra firma, even all of the scholars agree to this fact. They cannot eliminate the meaning of that occasion from the meaning of the verse. It means that it was established that occasion of revelation, the situation of the revelation was these four persons in addition to Muhammad Mustafa a.s. But Nabi Kareem a.s. himself was included in that very scope, under that very scope. Therefore, when you consider the matter of Ahlul Bayt Rasul, the first member of Ahlul Bayt is Muhammad Rasulullah himself. And Hussain, Kareeman and Khatun Jannat and Mawla Murtaza. These five persons are exclusively termed Ahlul Bayt Rasul. No other wives of the Holy Prophet can be included in this circle of purification. Although they are family member of the Holy Prophet, but that category is separate one. That is called a category of sabab, means only by means of marriage they were attached to Muhammad Rasulullah. But fundamentally, those people who can be termed as family members of the Holy Prophet, according to the translation of the separating of scarf of Muhammad Mustafa, only these persons can be referred to. That Nabi Kareem, in addition to other four persons, they are the family members of the Holy Prophet, which was purified according to the statement of the Holy Quran. And after that, Allah Kareem accepted the prayer of Muhammad Rasulullah, and Gabriel came down and he revealed this verse, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ عَلَى الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. Since Nabi Kareem intended for the first time to purify the family member of the Holy Prophet, therefore there was an allegation of selfishness to Muhammad Rasulullah. Some people who are not complete Muslims, they began to attribute the allegation that Nabi Kareem is very selfish. He tried to purify only his only family member. Allah Kareem said, "O my Holy Prophet, I exclude you from this allegation. I am saying that it is only my intention to purify them." If somebody says like that, he should attribute his allegation to myself. I am responsible for this statement. إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ. This is called hasar, means all of the other possibilities were excluded from the intention. Allah says it is not your intention, not for your intention, not for your sake, but only on account of my personal intention. I say that I have already determined to purify these persons, and nobody should accuse you for the selfishness, because this is not your suggestion, this is my own intention. And Nabi Kareem said, "Man ahabbahum fabihubbi ahabbahum, wa man abghadahum fabibughdi abghadahum." Whosoever loves them, he loves them for my sake, because their love is mine one. If somebody dislikes them, he dislikes them for my disliking, because he dislikes me, therefore dislike my family. Nabi Kareem said, "Al-Hasan wal-Hussain juz'an minni." Hassan and Hussain, both of them are my component parts, my constituents, my ingredients. I was distributed among two persons, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain, and up to the judgment day, the family of the Holy Prophet would be distributed with the same way as I was distributed. They would be distributed into their own individuals. All of their individuals and posterity and progeny and offsprings would be considered my constituents, my ingredients, my component parts. If any person disgraces them or hates them, so that disgrace or hate would not be attributed to them, but that would be directed to myself. So he would be considered to be criminal of the same crime as if he attributed the hate and disliking to myself. Nabi Kareem said, Al-Hassanu wal-Hussainu Sayyida Shabab al-Jannah. The other family of the Holy Prophet is also family of the Prophet. Means the wives of the Holy Prophets, the mothers of the Muslims are also family of the Prophet, but they are under the rule of Fadl Jazai. Means whatever they have been practicing, they would be rewarded for that double share as compared with all of the other Muslims. But that is called Fadl Jazai. Means Jaza is always used against the practice. Means they would be remunerated. They would be given the remuneration according to their practice. Although it is double system as compared with other people. But this family, these 5 persons are not under the rule of Fadl Jazai, but these are under Fadl Ikhtisasi. Means just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specified all of the prophets and He dignified them as prophet without their practice, without their certificate, without their education. Allah Kareem equipped them with all of the qualities and instruments which are necessary for the fighting against the deviated people, but all of the abilities and educations were provided to them only with the way of bounty of Allah. They did not earn it. As the Prophet was dignified only by Fadl Ilahi, just for sake of blessing, not for sake of their practice. Similarly, these people are innama yuridullahu liyudhib ankum ar-risa. Means they would not be rewarded for their practice, but they would be rewarded on account of blessing of Allah. This is called Fadl Ikhtisasi. Wallahu yakhtassu bi rahmatihi man yasha. As this ummah was dignified, kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas, you are the best community in the total universe. Means this dignity was granted to the Muslims not on account of their practice, but on account of Fazl Ilahi. Means they were specified by blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were not given the extra facilities on account of their practice. They are not active or they are not conscientious about their duties. All of the sins which were committed by different communities at different times, they are being committed by the Muslims at the same time, but yet they are declared to be the best community in the world. It means that sometimes the rule of remuneration is used, sometimes the rule of blessing is used. So the dignity of Ali Baiti Rasul was granted under the rule of blessing of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. That would be termed as Fazl Ikhtisasi. Wallahu yakhtassu bi rahmatihi man yasha. When Adam was dignified as a caliph of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Imam Abu Bakr Jassas says that angels objected the decision. They said, أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ وَنَحْنُ نُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِكَ وَنُقَدِّسُ لَكَ. Oh my Allah, you are declaring a person to be your vicegerent, your caliph, who would be committing the murder, the blood shedding, many other violations of law. That person is being dignified by you, and he is going to be crowned with the crown of caliphate. So nahnu nusabbihu bihamdika wa nuqaddisu lak. We are glorifying you, we are hymning you, we are appreciating your qualities, and we are worshipping you more than everything in the world. But you are neglecting us, and you are trying to dignify a person who is very sinful person. Allah said, Inni alamu ma la ta'lamun. Even if your record and your personal sheet, your history sheet is very purified, you never neglected my order, you never violated my law, and you are very punctual, very regular, very conscientious about your duties. You have been serving me very much, and I am very happy with you. But yet I shall give the dignity of caliphate to Adam. It means that it is not under the law of remuneration. If the law of remuneration had been used for this practice, so the caliph should have been dignified as a caliph. But this is under the law of blessing of Allah. The same rule was used for the family of the Holy Prophet who are under the shadow of scarf of Muhammad Mustafa.
Alay Takbir, Alay Risala, Azan Huzur Mufakir-E-Islam.
One can easily conceive this matter when Nabi Karim passed away from this world. Imam Hussain and Imam Hussain. One of them was 6 years old and the other one was 4 years old. But however old they were, but they were not adult. And their practice cannot be counted as a practice. So at that time it was declared that they would be the president of the young people in the paradise. And bear it in your mind that there would be no old men in the paradise. All of the people would be young. And young would be shared by Hazrat Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain. It means that the personal practice was not considered. It was under, consider the matter. This matter is enhancedly considerable matter, that when they were declared to be the president of the youth of paradise, at that time they were not dutiful. They were not duty bound. Liability of law was not imposed on them. Even then they were declared. It means that the general rule is the paradise would be granted on the judgment day after the checking their personal character, their personal sheet, their deeds, their virtues. When they are successful in the practice of checking, then they would be declared to be the paradisiacal. But when they were not adult, they were not dutiful, they were not duty bound, and they were not responsible to practice the order. So at that time they were declared to be the president of the paradise. It means that they are not under the rule of practice. They are not under the rule of Fadl Jazai, but they were under the rule of Fadl Ikhtisasi. All of the people would be declared on the judgment day to be the paradisiacal, all of Jannah, paradisiacal. But Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain, before the time of responsibility, before the time of accountability, before the time of beautifulness, they were declared to be the president of the paradise, the youth people of paradise. It means that the decision of these people or the dignity of these people does not go under the rule of Fadl Jazai, but this is included under the rule of Fadl Ikhtisasi. If they had been under the rule of Fadl Jazai, so the law should have waited for their age of majority. They were not major. Before the age of majority, they were declared to be the president of the paradise. It means that their decision was not waiting for the time of accountability or the judgment of the judgment day, but they were declared before that time because they were under the rule of law of blessing. Fadl Ikhtisasi. Nabi Karim a.s. once he was carrying Hazrat Imam Hussain on his shoulder. One of the companions of the Holy Prophet said, "What a beautiful this transport is." Nabi Karim a.s., you are appreciating the transport, but why don't you consider the dignity of the passenger? The passenger is also very nice. The companion said, "This transport is very nice." But Nabi Karim a.s. said, "You should also say that the passenger is also very nice." And those people were put on this trial. Hazrat Imam Hussain was alive at the time of Yazid. Yazid was a very bad person. He was believing like non-Muslims. Therefore, the research scholar of the Muslims are with the view that Yazid was not Muslim. Because once upon a time, he was going to use the wine. One of the Muslims said, this is haram, this is unlawful, this is invalid, you should not drink it. He said, if it is not lawful according to the Muhammadan law, I shall adopt the Christianity for legalize this drink. It means that he had bargaining on Islam, and just to legalize the wine, he declared that he is a Christian because his mother was also Christian. He had a double mind about his religion. On account of his father, he was believing himself to be Muslim, but on the side of his mother, he was believing that he is 50-50 Muslims. And when Nabi Kareem ﷺ declared that all of the sisters and mothers and real aunties are unlawful for a person to marry, or he was legalizing the marriage of sister and brother and son and mother. It was mentioned by Imam Syuti in the chapter of Caliphate of Yazid, and he says that when Hazrat Imam Hussain was murdered in the field of Karbala Sharif, after 2 years he attacked on Medina Tayyiba, and he validated the adultery in Medina Tayyiba. When Muslim Sharif says that Nabi Kareem said Kaaba Sharif was invalidated by Ibrahim and I invalidated Bain al-Labatain, means between two rims of this area, I made them unlawful, Haram Sharif, and no one is allowed to do something objectionable, just like one is duty bound not to fight, not to rebuke, not to violate the law in the prescribed area of protected area. That is called protected area. Haram Sharif is sanctuary, and protected area which is called Hima. In the area of Hama, no one is allowed to do any objectionable thing. Similarly, no one is allowed to do objectionable thing here. But he validated that all of the army was allowed to commit adultery with the virgin girls of Medina Tayyiba. So 1,000 virgin girls were impregnated by the army of Yazid, and he allowed all of the army to tie their horses inside of Masjid al-Nabawi, and they commit blasphemy against the shrine of the Holy Prophet. Blasphemy against the shrine of the Holy Prophet is completely infidelity. One cannot remain a Muslim after the commission of blasphemy against the shrine of the Holy Prophet. They committed so much so that the animals of the beast came there and they urinated on the pulpit of Muhammad Rasulullah, member, on the pulpit of Muhammad Rasulullah, when they validated blasphemy against all of the respectable eminences Shahir Allah, when they allowed to commit blasphemy against the Shahir Allah. So this is quite obvious and quite obvious infidelity. No one can rationalize this practice. One cannot be eliminated from the range of infidelity. All of the practice of Yazid were like an infidel, and his practice against Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala when he was the rider of shoulder of Muhammad Mustafa ﷺ. Imam Shami Rahmatullah writes, if a person commits blasphemy against the shoe of Muhammad Mustafa ﷺ, he will go out of Islam and he is apostatized, apostate, murtad. Apostate means murtad. He would apostatize because he committed the disrespect or sacrilege or insolence against the shoe of Muhammad Mustafa. When the insolence or sacrilege or blasphemy against the shoe of Muhammad Mustafa is bare and complete infidelity. So what is the reason to believe that if a person is sitting on the shoulder of Muhammad Mustafa, it is quite obvious that he has got a worthier with the stronger reasons to be respected. When the shoe of Muhammad Mustafa is highly respectable, if a person commits the violation against the shoe of Muhammad Mustafa, he would apostatize. He would consider to be apostate, murtad. So, what is the reason to believe that that person is Muslim who committed the blasphemy against the rider of the shoulder of Muhammad Mustafa, when the shoe cannot be blasphemed against? When the blasphemy against the shoe of Muhammad Mustafa is totally unlawful, and if a person legalizes it, he is infidel, he is not Muslim. So he committed the blasphemy against the person who was a rider of the shoulder of Muhammad Mustafa. So it was 61 year of the Hijrah, A.H. after Hijrah, when he was crowned as a caliph, because his father in his life, he declared him to be the crown prince Waliyat. Crown prince Waliyat. He was declared to be crown prince in the life of his father when there was a compromise between Hazrat Imam Hussain and Hazrat Amir Muawiyah, and this was a first condition that after his death the power would go to Ali Baiti Rasul, and he would not be entitled to appoint any person as a crown prince. But against that condition, he was declared to be crown prince by Hazrat Amir Muawiyah himself, and all of his actions and omissions and his daily activities were known to all of the Muslims. Imam Hussain was fully aware of his activities, and when a message was communicated to the governor of Madinah Tayyiba that Imam Hussain should be compelled to perform bath with Yazid, when the message was communicated to Hazrat Imam Hussain, he refused. He said, such a person cannot be included in the Muslims. Why should I perform the bath with that person? So Imam Hussain prepared himself for the journey. He decided to leave Madinah Tayyiba. So this is a question. Leaving of Madinah Tayyiba was a very complicated question for Imam Hussain. When he was born there, he was grown up there, and he had been moving here and there on the shoulder of Muhammad Mustafa. So when all of the Muslims like to die in the street of Muhammad Mustafa, why Imam Hussain should leave the city of Madinah Tayyiba? But Imam Hussain utilized the rule that when Nabi Karim had to leave Makkah Sharif, though Makkah Sharif was very sacred place and great eminence, Sha'irullah, means a big Sha'irullah, even he left Makkah Sharif just for sake of mission. When my grandfather left Makkah Sharif just for sake of mission, so this is sunnah of my forefather that I should leave Madinah Tayyiba for sake of mission. He went from Medina to Makkah Sharif, and there was only 3 days for the performance of the formalities of Hajj Sharif pilgrimage. But Imam Hussain prepared himself to go there. Why? Because he had a dream of Muhammad Rasulullah. The dream of Muhammad Rasulullah is reality. La yatamassal bi shaitan. Nabi Karim was reported to have said, Satan cannot resemble with me, and he can never declare that I am like Muhammad Rasulullah. So these Maulana people who are saying that they are just like Muhammad Rasulullah, when Satan cannot declare such a declaration. So it means that they have crossed the border which was observed by Satan as well. Hazrat Imam Hussain a.s. says that it was ordered by Muhammad Rasulullah to leave Mecca Sharif and to go to Karbala Sharif because there a reliable textbook of Hadith Sharif, Muslim Sharif, Tirmidhi Sharif. All of these books are containing the tradition that once upon a day an angel came to Muhammad Rasulullah who had never come to Rasulullah in whole of the past life. And he saw Nabi Kareem playing with Hazrat Imam Hussain and loving him, kissing him and putting him in his lap. And the angel said, "Oh my holy prophet, do you love this person?" Nabi Kareem said, "Yeah, I love him very much. I cannot explain the limit of my love for this person." And at that time, the angel said, "Oh holy prophet, I have brought the dust of that very field where he would be slaughtered, and that place would be blooded by the blood of this person. And if you like, I can give you the specimen. The specimen of that dust was handed over to Muhammad Rasulullah. One can realize the importance of martyrdom of Imam Hussain, that even the prophets were martyred, companion was martyred, many other persons were also martyred, but the specimen of that dust where they were going to be martyred was not given to somebody as a memorandum, but this was a memorial thing, that this dust was handed over to Muhammad Rasulullah and he asked Salma to keep it with her as a trust. She was entrusted with that trust. And a discretionary power says that his mother was alive in those days. Nabi Kareem should have given that dust to Sayyidah Fatima because she was mother. And she was young. And a young can expect to live more and more, a long life. And Nabi Kareem's wife were younger, everyone was younger than Hazrat Salma. Salma was the oldest wife of the Holy Prophet. A human discretionary power does not approve with this fact that the dust should have been given to Hazrat Salma. So this is the sign of clairvoyance of Muhammad Rasulullah. Clairvoyance to know the unseen secret. Clairvoyant, that person who knows the clairvoyance. So this tradition shows that Nabi Kareem was fully aware of the future. He was clairvoyant. Otherwise, there was no chance for anyone to take that dust as a memorandum. But Hazrat Salma was chosen by Nabi Kareem to keep that trust. Hazrat Aisha was youngest wife of the Holy Prophet. The other discretionary power says that this dust should have been given to Hazrat Sayyidah Aisha, because normally a young person is expected to live more and more in a long life. But mother was also young and the step-grandmother was also young, but both of them were neglected. And a person who was the oldest person in the society of the Prophet, that dust was given to her. And Nabi Kareem said, "Keep it with you. The time would come when this dust would be changed into the blood. And that time would be the time of martyrdom of Hazrat Imam Hussain." So how one can say that Hazrat Imam Hussain should not have gone there? No. When it was decided by the Holy Prophet, even the dust of that field was also given to Hazrat Imam Hussein's mother, Hazrat Salma. She was grandmother. So it means that it was already decided by Nabi Kareem ﷺ, and all of the family members were aware of this one. That dust was kept by Hazrat Salma radiallahu ta'ala. And the time came when Janabi Sayyidah Salma radiallahu ta'ala anha was doing the Zohar prayer, and all of a sudden she happened to see that very bottle where she had preserved the dust of Karbala Sharif. It was changing very quickly into the blood. Then she lost the senses and fell down on the prayer sheet. गज़ब किया तेरी याद ने मुझे आसिताया नमाज में मेरे वो भी सजदे कज़ा हुए जो अदा हुए थे नमाज में. And Hazrat Abdul bin Abbas was reported to have seen Nabi Kareem alayhi salam, and he saw Nabi Kareem alayhi salam. The beard of Nabi Kareem alayhi salam was dusty, and all of the clothes of Nabi Kareem alayhi salam were also dusty. He asked the reason of dustiness. Why this dust is on your clothes, on your face, on your hair? Nabi Kareem alayhi salam answered him that Imam Hussain was under the swords, and he was martyred, and the horses was running over the body of Imam Hussain. And when the lines of the horses would finish, I would dusting the body of Imam Hussain. On account of that dusting, my body is dusty. And one can see that when Nabi Kareem was so injured and so grieved, so one can easily imagine the fact that when a practice can injure Nabi Kareem so much, so that person who commits this crime can be called a Muslim? No. The torturing of Muhammad Mustafa is totally unlawful. The person who tortured Muhammad Mustafa by this practice, he cannot be included in the Muslim community. And Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu got ready for departure to Kufa, and it was near about 6th of Zilhajjah, when it was only 2 days left for the performance of the formalities and rituals of the pilgrimage. People said, "Oh Imam Hussain, there are only 2 or 3 days left for the performance of pilgrimage. Why are you going there?" And on the other side, the player of Allah is saying that, "Oh Imam Hussain, if the people are going here to perform the pilgrimage in the field of Arafat Sharif, and your pilgrimage is going to be performed from here up to Karbala Sharif, and if the people are going to sacrifice their animals in the area of Mina, and your sacrifices would be accepted in the field of Karbala Sharif. Here the people will sacrifice their animals, and you would sacrifice your young persons and your small babies in the way of Allah. You will sacrifice the sacrifice of Hazrat Imam Ali Asghar, Imam Ali Akbar, Imam Qasim. So beautiful person would be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as you would sacrifice everything you have at the moment. Allah Rabbul Izzat will accept every sacrifice you offer in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." And Imam Hussain, one after another journey, he went to Karbala Sharif. It was 7th of Muharram Sharif, when the area of the bank of river Euphrates, Frat is called Euphrates. Euphrates was covered. All of the banks of Euphrates were covered by the army of Yazid, just to deprive Imam Hussain from the water, because they were fully aware that if Imam Hussain can satisfy himself from the thirst, if he can quench his thirst or his hunger, he will be able to continue the fight for years and years. Therefore they tried their best. Imam Hussain has come there without any ration, without any circumstances to live on. Therefore the area of the water should be covered by the army, so that he cannot get even a drop of water. So Imam Hussain said at the time of Judgment Day, there was Hussain a.s. and the distributor of Hussain a.s. would be my father and myself. And we, Alay Rasul, family of the Holy Prophet, will distribute to everybody who is thirsty. This thirst of the people present in the field of Qiyamah, Judgment Day, would be quenched, would be satisfied by the distribution of family member of the Holy Prophet. And you are trying to deprive me of the water in this world. And on the contrary, the practice of Janabi Haidar Qarar, Sher Khuda radiyallahu anhu, is really saying worthy when his murderer was tied against the bed of Hazrat Ali Sher Khuda radiyallahu anhu. And Hazrat Ali Sher Khuda radiyallahu anhu was at the rim of the life. And he was going to breath his last. So a drink was brought to Hazrat Imam, Hazrat Haidar Qarar Sher Khuda radiyallahu anhu. He said, my murderer looks to be very thirsty. I shall prefer this person to myself. But look the character of my father. He preferred his murderer to himself, and he provided the water to that person. And you should check the time of enclosure of Hazrat Imam Hazrat Usman Ghani radhiyallahu anhu, when he was besieged, he was encircled by the terrorists. And at that time, I was the person to communicate the water to Hazrat Imam Hazrat Usman Ghani radhiyallahu anhu. And my brother Imam Hassan, we were going there with the water to provide Hazrat Usman Ghani radhiyallahu anhu with the water. And these two characters of Ali Bayt Rasul are memorable. And you should feel embarrassed of yourself that you are claiming to be the partisan of those people whom we provided the water. And my father preferred his murder to himself. The killer was also tied there, and Imam Ali radiyallahu anhu was in need of water, but he preferred his killer. So you should feel embarrassed of yourself, and you should give up the bad way. You should mend your ways. Otherwise, on the Judgment Day, you will have to be ashamed in my front. But they did not do like that. Imam Hussain radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, on the 9th of Muharram Sharif, he requested Hazrat Sayyida Zainab. He said, "Oh Zainab, you are my sister, and you are well observer, and you are very pious, and it is my bad luck that I am causing a trouble to you. I shall request you to leave me and go away. And these persons, when they find me here, they will not follow you. They will not chase you up. And when I am here, I shall fight them." Hazrat Sayyida Zainab said, "Oh Hussain, you are son of Hazrat Ali, and I am also daughter of Hazrat Ali. Your mother is Fatima. My mother is also Fatima. If you can stay in front of the enemies, I can stand by you through thick and thin. And the time will come when the people will remember that Imam Hussain was a matchless person in the field of bravery, and myself would also be remembered by all of the humanity, even Muslims and non-Muslims. Everybody would remember me that the sister should be loyal like me. I am with you, and I shall support your cause, and I shall suffer all of the consequences of your struggle, and I shall leave my decision to my Lord." And Hazrat Sayyida Sharbano, she was daughter of a king family. She was coming from the dynasty of Persia, from Awlad of Sherwan. Hazrat Sayyida Sharbano radiyallahu ta'ala anha was from the family of Akasira, Cyrus. That is called Cyrus in English. From the offspring of Cyrus. Cyrus means Kisra, the forefather of Noshirwan. Sayyida Sharbano was daughter of Yazdgard. Yazdgard was son of Noshirwan, and Noshirwan was from the family from the lineage of Cyrus. Cyrus was the first person to establish the imperialism of Persia. Therefore, she was coming from a very high dynasty. Hazrat Imam Hussain said, "O Sharbano, you have been born in the palace, and you have been brought in the palace, and you are offspring of the persons who were holding the great power of the world, and you are suffering so many difficulties and problems on account of me. Therefore, I shall request you to go in the darkness of the night." And there was a mountain which is called La La'ana, the mountain called La La'ana is in front of you. If you go on the other side of this mountain, your cousins and your close relatives, your relatives are all living there, and kith and kin are also present there. They will look after you and they will protect you against all of the dangers. Hazrat Sayyida Sharbanu said, "O Imam Hussain, even if I am not daughter of a prophet, even if I am not daughter of Sayyida Fatima, even if I am not daughter of Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu, but I am not coming from a mean family. I am also coming from a royal family. This is the time to show the loyalty and stability and the power, the stamina. The history will remember me that Imam Hussain was a matchless person in the field of bravery, and no one can be compared with you. Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu was very brave, very bold, a very great person. But wherever he would go, Hazrat Nabi Karim would say, Hazrat Ali will go there and will win the game, will kill the enemy and will come back. It means that the glad tidings were always given to him. When a person is fully sure that I will go there, I will win the competition and I will kill the enemy and come back safely, so he can easily hear. But Imam Hussain was told by Muhammad Rasulullah that Imam Hussain, you will go there, but you will not come back. And we shall meet on the judgment day. Before that time, there will be no chance for me to meet with you. So therefore, Hazrat Ali Sharif Khuda radiyallahu ta'ala anhu is believed to be very brave. But bravery of Imam Hussain is preferable. Even Mr. Gibbs says that no one can be compared with Imam Hussain in the field of bravery, stability, punctuality and regularity, because he devoted all of his family as well as his darling on the scorching sand of Karbala Mohalla in the case of thirst and hunger. And a person who is ignorant, he can name Rustam in presence of Imam Hussain, because Imam Hussain was a different type of person. Rustam went in a competition. That competition was with his own son. When he defeated his son and he killed him, and at the time of last breath, he said that I am son of Rustam. He said Rustam was issueless. He took out the belt and another amulet which he was using in the life. When he went to do Thoran, he gave that belt and his amulet to his wife. When his wife was pregnant, he said, if there is a son, please inform me. I shall manage to take him in my own country. And if it is daughter, you can keep it with you. But when he was born, his mother communicated a message to Rustam. He said, "Oh Rustam, you had only a daughter." She concealed the matter. But when he grown up, he began to compete all of the wrestlers. He defeated all of the champions. And at last he challenged Kakaus. And Kakaus was in those days without Rustam, because Rustam had retired. And Rustam, he requested Rustam, please come in front, because there is a very, very tough competition and nobody can contest it. Therefore you will have to go. He said, I had a very good reputation. If if I am defeated in the last part of my life, it would be a great loss on my part. But the political people are very, very clever. They said, you should change your name. If you win the game, we shall declare that this is Rustam. And if you lose the game, we shall say this is somebody else. So therefore your reputation can be protected by this way. He went there. When the competition was started, so they used their feet, F-E-A-T feet, feet. They use their feet. But consequently, when Rustam came on the knees, he said, "O Rustam, barkhezo mardam ki bayanges." He challenged himself. "O Rustam, why are you going to die? You should dare, and you should compete your enemy, your competitor." So Rustam again stood up, and he attacked on Sorab, who was his real son. But when he attacked him, he pulled him down, and he stabbed his dagger into his stomach. And when he was dying, he said, "My father is a very brave person. If you go in the river and you become a fish, my father will chase you up. And if you become a star and go up to the sky, my father will chase you up. And if you are bird, you fly in the space, my father will chase you up just like an eagle, and he will never let you go. Inshallah, my father would retaliate on yourself." He said, Rustam was issueless. He had no son. Look, I am son of Rustam. Look, what is the sign? What is the proof? He took out his belt and his amulet. He showed. And when Rustam recognized that these are mine ones, and really this is my son, he fell down. The people saw him falling down, but he could not stand up. "Why Imam Hussain? Imam a.s. was on your hand." And when the arrow went through the throat of Imam a.s. and you did not surrender, after that you attacked the enemy and you killed many persons. Wa Hussain, Wa Hussain, Wa Hussain. Mr. Gibbs says that no one can be compared with Imam Hussain in the field of bravery, stability, and punctuality and regularity. Imam Hussain was a matchless person. So I think this is clinch of the case. Hazrat Sayyida Sharbano said, even if you are offspring of the Holy Prophet, I am not offspring of any prophet, but yet I am also daughter of brave people, respectable people, loyal people, very well known in the society. I don't want to be ashamed in front of Sayyida Fatima. If Sayyida Fatima says on the judgment day, "Oh Sharbano, you left my darling son, Imam Hussain, in front of the enemies. He was going to be crushed under the hoof of the horses, and you left him there and you secured your life. So that would be very, very shameful matter for me. Therefore I will remain here, and when you will be killed, I shall come upon your body, and when they try to run their horses on your body, I shall fall upon your body just to protect you. The time would come, you would be remembered and I would also be remembered." So as character of Imam Hussain is rememberable or totally unforgettable, the character of Sayyida Zainab and Sayyida Sharbano is also unforgettable. Now I went in Egypt and I saw the building of Sayyida Zainab, which is attributed to Hazrat Sayyida Zainab. Though the research says that Hazrat Sayyida Zainab's Mizar, the shrine, is situated in Dimashq, but it was attributed, they claim that Hazrat Sayyida Zainab was buried here. But I saw the place. That building is more valuable, more expensive than the crown and thrones of the king The palace of kings cannot be compared with that one. The mosque of Sayyida Zainab is 3 times bigger than the Shahi Mosque of Lahore. So not only the buildings were built there, but I saw the people visiting there. They were like in Haram Sharif, in Kaaba Sharif, in Medina Tayyibah. The people who were left here hairless and nobody was there to provide them with a drop of water, and there was no army and no arrangement for their bodies. Their bodies were left there, only their heads were cut off and put on the lawns just to show, and they staged a procession in front of the people as a deterrent punishment of Ali Bayt Rasul, just to teach the lesson to the other people. This is called the deterrent punishment, just to teach the lesson to the other people who are not being punished, but they are just seeing. They are just seeing the situation. They should be taught a lesson. So, as a deterrent punishment, their head was put on the lances, and their body was neglected there. When the human bodies are neglected in a desert, so it is quite possible for the jackals, for the other flesh-eating animals, for the beasts to tear up their bodies, but no animal came there. Their bodies were preserved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the animals, the beasts, the brutes were fully aware that these bodies are of the blood of the Holy Prophet. If you go there in Karbala Sharif, you will see that even the American buildings cannot be compared with the dignity of those buildings. And in Egypt, that building is really matchless building, and so valuable, very precious stones was used for the building of that building, their mosque. Not only mosque there, but the people and overcrowding of the people cannot be counted. And the shopping centers around that area are very shining, illuminated by the lights. I have seen many international shopping centers in Hong Kong, in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, and other countries. I have been in America as well, but such a dignity and such pomp and show and such a illumination was not seen anywhere. So when those people were hungry and thirst of many days, they fight there. Imam Hussain a.s, on the one side he was thirsty, but on the other side he dug out a drain there and filled it with woods, and he put them on the fire just to protect his family from the attack from backside. Imam Hussain was fully confident, if somebody comes in front, I am son of Ali, I shall deal with the case. But if somebody comes from the backside, so the heat of Karbala Sharif itself and the thirst itself, and in addition to that, on the backside of the tents, the canopy, there was fire, filled with the fire, just to protect against the enemy. Under these circumstances, is it possible for one person to advance towards the enemy? Enemy was 25,000 persons and equipped with all of the deadly armaments. But Imam Hussain was empty-handed, because he did not go there for fighting. He went there just to accept the invitation of those people who had written the letters to him. Inshallah, if I am alive, in the next lecture I shall go on this very point. I shall give you the details. But at this time, I prefer to give the lecture in English, especially for my daughters who are qualified from colleges and schools and universities of this country, and they cannot properly understand Urdu, and they have got very rare chances to attend the Muslim meetings. Therefore, I wanted to give the details of Karbala Sharif just to enable them to understand the background of Ali Bayt Rasulullah. Inshallah. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ وَآخِرُ دَعْوَانَا أَنِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ.